Hi, Kava teachers. This is Anita Garza, your K-5 English Language Development Specialist. The subject of this training is the California English Language Development Test, the teacher training for Kava, and this is part 3. So we're going to talk here about test security, bubbling, and returning the test to the Kava office. So you're at the last part of our CELDT training. So what we're going to talk about here, just like what I said, the test security, bubbling, and then getting those tests back in a timely manner to the Kava office. So with test security, just like with STAR testing, it's really important that we do everything we can to keep these tests secure. So that starts out with the affidavits. Please make sure that you sign the included security affidavit that's with the test. You are the teacher, you are the staff that has access to those CELDT materials, so you need to sign it and return it with the test. The Kava office must have a hard copy, and all materials must be kept in a locked, secured area before and after testing. So once you've counted everything, made sure you have all the tests that match the students that you need to test, everything needs to be put back into that locked, secured area. We need to make sure to be telling students that unauthorized electronic devices may not be used at any time during the testing session. So just like with STAR testing, now with the CELDT test, this is the rule. With bubbling, we're going to go over a couple sheets on how to bubble, but I want to let you know that Anasia or I will send you a spreadsheet with all of the information that you need to complete the bubbling. So you will have a demographic report type of thing that will have all the information that you need about the students. So we'll also give you an example and make sure that you know how to do the bubbling. But here is just an overview. We've got a little sun in the areas that we need to complete. So it's everything on this front page, the front of the answer book. And this is without a pre-ID label. We will not have any labels for students taking the CELDT test. We just do not have a big enough population to need to do that. So everything will be hand bubbled. So here you're just going to put the first and last name and your information as the teacher. For school and district, you need to just put California Virtual Academies at and then your school for both school and district. So you'll have date of birth, all of this information, male or female grade, test purpose, very important. Most will be annual assessment, but if you have an initial assessment, which is, like I said, mostly kindergartners, but some newly into our school, you'll mark it here. Now here is the student ID, the state student ID, and the student ID that we have. Now you need to go ahead and put that in, and this is their student ID that we have, but it's right justified. So make sure you put those zeros in and you right justify it over here. It's really, really important for the ELD specialist because as we get these tests back, we need to make sure to match them up with the correct student. Now the back of the document, we don't have to mark all of them. Again, you have all this information in the spreadsheet that Anasia and I are going to send to you, but just to give you an overview over here, 18, 19, and 23, you ignore altogether. 22 is that box I talked about with the SPED students. Only if they use an accommodation or modification will you need to bubble anything here. 21, you will hear from one of us if you need to mark anything here. Most cases you don't, so just ignore it. And then really we're just looking at these sunshine areas here. So if you have any questions once you get the spreadsheet and you're doing the bubbling, Anasia and I can help you definitely on that. So you want to check your answer books. Just make sure that all student identifying information is correct and complete. So you want to make sure that their name, their student ID, all of those biggies are correct so that the right student gets the right information out there. Field 11 is the date test completed, so that's on the back. Make sure that you have the correct date the test was completed because again we have windows that we have to stay within, deadlines to have things completed. All stray pencil marks are erased, and if you have any original book that was damaged, that the answers have been transcribed to clean answer books. But that's only in a one-off situation, so again you can talk to Anasia and I if you feel like you have a damaged book. Preparing materials for return. So you're ready, you're done, and you want to get these tests back to the Kava office. So just make sure you separate and count by grade level and by annual assessment versus initial identification. So you just separate out by grade level, and your annual assessments are going to be most of your tests, and if you have any initial identifications, you will have that separate. And then this was just an example. You have 11 annual assessments and 7 initial identifications, and that's 18 total grade 3 tests. So where do you ship them back? Make sure that you stay within that 5-day window of receiving your test to comply with state deadlines. So you've got to do this within 5 days for your initial identification kiddos. You're going to complete your testing, and then you're going to ship this back to the CAVA office. We have an English learner clerk there that does an awesome job of sending out tests and you can return it right back to the main office, to that department. So go ahead and send it to the main office, care of English learner department right there, and Jonathan will take care of those for us. There is no flexibility on test dates, so please make sure that this is top priority when you get a student who needs to be self-tested for an initial identification. And as always, please contact Anasia or I if you have any questions, if you need help, if you're not sure of something. We are here to help, and we'll step you through it, with anything that you need. Okay, so thank you so much. This was part 3 of CAVA's California English Language Development Test Training for the teachers. So by now, you should have gone through all 3 trainings and been on the Moodle website and got your examiner's training done. And Anasia and I will be monitoring that site to see who has gone through the training, how much time you've been spending on there, and what scores you've been getting on the quizzes. So make sure that you get in there and do those 4 required sections. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to working with you soon.